to ask Ta-Nehisi about the media question that Tim raised before, and whether you agree, and also whether to someone like you, it looks like there's both George and Tom have talked about the economic issue, where it looks like there's a little bit of a, I don't want to say a cultural war because that sounds like we're having discussions over what movies to say, but over who gets a bigger share of the pot, and if that's really what is on people's minds these days.
Well, I think part of the problem is like you have conflicting incentives, okay? The media is, you know, and I think this goes from media to government. I think it's actually the same problem. The media is a business. Is it really wrong for a website, we don't do this at The Atlantic, to check, you know, you know, attempt to draw as much traffic as it can? Actually, we do try to draw as much traffic as we can within boundaries. Is it wrong for a network to try to draw as much ratings as it can? They do have to stay in business. By the same token, we hope that they represent some sort of higher ideal. We hope the media has, you know, within its mission that it will inform the public, something beyond the ratings. But those two things can be in conflict. And you look at the same thing with government. You know, I have my own feelings about immigration. I hope it passed, right? But is it wrong for a congressman who is sent to represent a certain group of people to represent those people? I mean, isn't that how democracy actually works? At the same time, you do hope that that congressman might have some higher ideal beyond the people that sent him. But that's not, I don't know that that's a particularly dishonorable incentive to represent,
George wants
you know,
to
your
answer that, and then
constituents.
I want to go to Melody for.
Well, before we self-satisfactorily here blame it all on the politicians, let's not relieve the American people of their responsibility in this. Everybody wants it resolved in a nice way, but they want it resolved consistent with their interests. In 1990, we had a huge battle over the budget. The first President Bush was in office. I was the Senate Majority Leader. The issues were the same as the last time around with Obama and the Republicans: taxes, spending, Medicare. It went on for months. The press was extremely critical, excessive partisanship. Same story. You could have pasted the stories in from this past year. I used to go home every weekend to Maine to hold town meetings. On a Saturday morning, after about 6 months of this, a crowd larger than this attended, and disproportionately elderly. I won't comment on this crowd. And the first guy that get up, I invited comments and questions, delivered a stinging rebuke of me, criticized me harshly for my excessive partisanship, and why weren't we able to resolve this like gentlemen? And when he finished, he got a standing ovation. And he said, well, that's my comment. Now, here's my question. He said that the press is all about politics. He said, no discussion of the issues. What are the issues? What are you guys fighting about? By coincidence, not, I guess by coincidence, Medicare was a big issue, and how to deal with Medicare spending. And I described the issues, the president's proposal, our proposal. He stood up and he said, Senator, you represent us, and we're telling you, you go back to Washington and don't give an inch on Medicare. And he got a double standing ovation. So I had two very clear messages going back. The problem is that they were directly contradictory. The public, like individuals, are capable and regularly hold and advocate contradictory positions. I spent 5 years in Northern Ireland when the people on both sides were telling the politicians, settle it now, but settle it our way. And the true leaders are those who can reconcile the conflicts in the public mind with the national interest.
Well,